up, JZFishing? Today we are back at Fort Baker with the sexy GoPro mount. And we are going to be fishing for eels, rockfish, and cabezon. We also have a charter today, so let's see how it goes. Okay guys, so like Zach said, we have a charter today. If you guys remember our last video, we had a charter and tried to film during the charter. The goal of today is we're going to film before the charter and then a little bit after. So let's get out in the water, let's get some lines in before this charter goes. Our goal is to catch some nice eels and then use them as live bait off of the cliff that we showed you in the last video. But if we catch a really decent sized one, maybe, just maybe, we'll do a catch and cook. So let's see what happens. Let's go. All right, the first step of today's video is going to be getting some water. You guys are probably like, why do you need water? And the answer to that question is, we're going to be using water to keep these eels alive and use them as live bait for lingcod. So right now, me and Zach are fishing by ourselves for personal fun time, right? And also to film a video. But within the next hour or two, we're gonna have clients charter. So what we're doing is catching these eels so that we can then use them as live bait for a big lingcod, hopefully. Right now, just finished tying his rig. There it is, simple. He's never actually caught a fish on pokey pole yet. Or, have you? Poke pole, actually. It's apparently not pokey.
I don't know.
Well, either way, it'll be cool. It's your first eel for sure. Okay, so let's get down there and catch a fish. So we had some people in our last video ask us what kind of hooks, like what our rig is. It's very, very simple. We're just using, I believe these are 1/0 circle hooks. They are. I should probably be using a little bit tinier, but this is all we have right now. Taking these 1/0 circle hooks. And you can tie to braid, mono. From what I've found recently, these fish don't seem to be all that leader shy. And I'm just tying just a simple knot right to the hook. It's really that easy. I'm personally gonna be using 15-pound mono shock leader, but anything really works. So just doing a uni knot or Palomar knot, whatever. I don't know what the name of the knot is. Just my little braid scissors. Make sure to cut your tag end. There you go. You got your hook. See? And then what you can do also, if you want to add a little bit of weight to get it down in these deep holes, you can put split shots here. I'm going to try on unweighted just for now. And then the piece of bait of our choice today is going to be a nice little juicy hunk of squid. I'm just gonna cut this up in a couple tiny pieces because this kind of fishing, you lose your bait a lot. So that's the bait of choice. We're just gonna bait it, put it on the hook. I'm not sure if anchovies is gonna work all that well. I presume it probably would. These eels don't seem to be all that picky about what you give them, but squid definitely seems to be the best. Okay, it's been a bit of a slow morning. The reason for that is I personally got the wrong stuff. Brought the wrong hooks, so I had to look for the tiniest. We're supposed to bring teensy tiny little hooks, and I did not bring them. So that's a big mistake by me. I just looked through all our stuff, and I just found the tiniest hook that we have. And hopefully, this is gonna be tiny enough to catch fish. Got him! Zach! Yeah.
Alright, so skip ahead a little bit of time. It's currently 3:10. We just finished, as you saw in that video, the fishing before the charter and then the fishing during the charter. Zach, I think it was a very successful charter. I think you would agree with me on that one.
Correct.
We caught 3 rockfish, 1 eel, and a bunch of crabs. And the kids enjoyed it. They're hooked on fishing. Tons of action. Exceeded their expectations for what they wanted today. Really overall exciting trip. Yeah, really good day. So now what we're doing is doing a little bit of post fishing, kind of seeing if there's any other eels in here, because if you saw the beginning clip, we have that eel that we're gonna hopefully cook up for dinner, for a catch and cook. The big eel, my personal best. So let's see if we can get any more keeper sized eels before we go, and then we're gonna show you guys how to fillet the eel and how to cook it. So let's go. Oh. Oh my God. Hold the camera. There it is. Alright, we just finished fishing, and we got some underwater footage hopefully for you guys. No drone footage today, but now it's time to head home and do the catch and cook. Isn't that right, Zach?
Sure.
Alright, you guys, before we head home, I just want to do one more quick update. We just bled that eel. So we didn't get footage of that because we don't want to show that on YouTube. It can get a little gruesome sometimes. But pretty much what that is it's taking the gills out of the fish. And what that does, it kind of sounds very gruesome, and it kind of is. But number one, it's a great way to put that fish out with as minimal pain as possible. Number two, it's another really great way to make sure your seafood tastes as good as it possibly can. If you don't bleed the fish, sometimes that can contaminate the taste of the meat, and it will really ruin the quality of the fish, and kind of puts that catch and kill to a waste. So let's show you guys what it looks like right now. What we're gonna do to transport it to get to my house, we're gonna put it in the back vise and send it to her. So here it is. It's a 14-inch long eel. You can tell it's a little bit of bloody water, but that's the eel. Right there, 14 inches. It looks like an absolute beast. It's got a really cool red on its tail. But yeah, hopefully this is gonna be really delicious. Not sure what kind of recipe we're gonna do with it yet. Let's get this thing on ice, get it home, and start cooking it up. Welcome back, guys. We're at the house now. It's time to cook this eel. The first thing that we're gonna be doing is completely cutting this thing up. Now let me say this, disclaimer, this is not a video teaching you per se how to do it. This is a video explaining my experience doing it. And when I say that, this is my first time ever doing this. I've done some catch and cooks before. I did a smelt, which didn't turn out all that well. I did a halibut, which turned out amazing. And I've done a trout, which turned out amazing. Only one of which has been filmed. Oh, we also did a crab, which also turned out amazing. So today, hopefully, we're gonna get a good, nice fillet. We bled the fish, which is also really important when you are, gonna eat any fish, I should say. So hopefully that's gonna work better. So let's get a video of me filleting this, and yeah, let's get going. Alright, so one of the most important things, I can say at least, that we did to this fish to keep it in as best possible condition as possible was keep it on ice, right? So one of the number one things that you can do when you're bringing a fish to your home is to keep it on ice, because that'll keep it chilled and it'll keep the meat as high quality as possible. Alright, so this next part here is me filleting the fish, and I'm going to say right now, I'm not even going to show a lot of the fillet job. This is why it's in a time lapse, because it was so bad. I mean, it was one of the worst fillet jobs I've ever done. Number one, I did not do a very good job. Number two, the fish was extremely slippery, so I had a hard time keeping a good grip on the fish. I have a hard time filleting smaller fish. I'm a much better fillet person when it comes to larger fish. So this is a time lapse of it. But yeah, we filleted the fish into 2 pieces. All right, well, I extremely underestimated how hard that was going to be. Filleting that eel was extremely complicated. just because it was so slippery. So I did not do a very good job. I will be the first person to say I did probably one of the worst fillet jobs I've ever done in my entire life. I'm not bad at filleting, I promise. That was just a very, very hard to fish to fillet. And I also think that we need a new knife. Our knife used to be good, but it got a little dulled out. Even though we sharpened it. So what we're gonna do now is, I think we're gonna fry the fish, or fry the eel. I think that's the easiest way to do it. We're just gonna try it today, and if it works and it doesn't work, we'll kind of we'll look at where we are, and you know, once again, this is an experiment. This is our first time doing this, so spare us in the comment section down below. But yeah, let's get the seal on the stovetop and see how it tastes. All right, the next step of this little couch and cook, which, by the way, is not going so well right now. We'll see. It doesn't look like it's so promising. But the next step is to clean these fillets, because right now they're hella dirty. So what we're gonna do is just take some cold water. And simply just kind of wash out the fillet. Oh, look at that. Already looking a lot better. They were pretty gray, now they're a lot more white. Okay, this next step that I'm doing is patting these fillet down. And that means by getting all this water and this moisture out of the fillet, because that's gonna make it taste a lot better. All right, now I may have already mentioned this, but this fish that we're gonna be cooking today is actually not an eel. The name of the fish is the monkey-faced prickleback eel, but what it actually is, it's a kind of rockfish. And the reason that it's called an eel is because, well, it looks like one. It's just something that we've kind of grown to call it, but technically speaking, it's a rockfish. So I'm gonna be cooking it the same way that Fisherman's Life cooks all of his rockfish. This might be a completely horrible idea, but it's worth a shot. It's also very simple. It's just some butter, some salt, some pepper. We might throw some garlic in there. Just to get that kind of good kind of scent and kind of get the fish to be cooked as good as possible. So we're just going to try that out, and if it doesn't work, I know for a fact there's some other things we can try in the future. But yeah, so let's get the butter, the garlic, the pepper, and the salt going, and we'll be getting going here. Get this fish in the pan. So as you can tell, the meat is kind of shrinking a little bit, which is actually really interesting. I don't know really why that is, but it's very interesting. Someone could actually tell us in the comment section below why this meat is shrinking like that, because I think that's really, really interesting. The way you guys can see this. It's a lot harder. Usually I have a buddy to help me film, but he's in the ER right now. Jack, he injured himself a little bit playing some football, so hopefully he's all good. I'm happy I only did that for 3 minutes because that kind of burned at the top there. Yeah, a little bit of burning, but you know, first try, or first time. So that is the fillet. We're gonna try that out here in a minute. Let's see how it tastes. All right, you guys, these are my first taste impressions. The only thing I just did was just, as you saw, put some lemon on. So let's grab a little bite right here. That's pretty good. There's a little bit of bones, but it's a good fish. I'm surprised. That turned out better than I thought it was going to. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to give you my final impressions and what you should and should not do when you're cooking this fish. All right, let's talk about today. So today was an interesting day of fishing. Actually, a really awesome day of fishing. Interesting day of cooking. So I would say this was a mild success, just because you know, as soon as we caught the fish, we didn't really have the tools to bleed it safely or correctly. We did our best, but it wasn't amazing. Could have been done a lot better, a lot more efficiently for sure. It was also really hard to fillet. By far the worst fillet job I have ever done in my entire life. It was just so slippery. It's such a slippery fish. And then the third thing is, I don't feel like I cooked it correctly. I really wish I would have done sushi. I don't think I would have had time to do it, and I don't definitely have the ingredients to do it right now. But in the future, I do want to make sushi out of it because I believe that would be absolutely delicious. It just needs a little bit more time and preparation, and that really needs to be my goal. Going into today, I had no plans on doing a catch and cook. It was the last thing that I thought I was going to be doing. But here we are today. The fish, as you guys saw, ended up actually tasting not bad. And I know Fish and Films, you specifically are going to say this, the fillet didn't look very good, and I agree. But it ended up tasting pretty good. Much better than that smelt. It kind of tasted like a rubbery chicken. It definitely had that rubbery taste that I had a feeling it was going to have. And the biggest mistake that I made is I left the skin on. So as you guys saw there, I ate it with the skin on, and as soon as I took that first bite, I knew that I needed to remove the skin. So I went back and I removed all the skin and ate just the white meat. And that white meat was very good, really tasty. I cooked it pretty perfectly, I will say. 3 minutes on each side was just enough. Just some butter, some pepper, some salt, and a little bit of garlic. That really did the job, and then a little bit of lime at the end to finish everything off. But yeah, so it was a really interesting and fun experience. Please do not bash us in the comment section below. It's our first time doing this, so please spare us. Okay, we are not professionals in any way, shape, or form. So with that being said, please subscribe, click the like button, because you guys are the ones that help us promote these videos. So if you guys want to have other people see these kinds of videos, click the like button, click subscribe, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, tell us in the comment section below, because we want to know. So yeah, with that being said, we'll see you next time.